Tonight with the very sharp warning from President Biden today, saying today that he believes the risk of a Russian invasion of Ukraine is very high. And he said there is every indication now that Russia is prepared to go into Ukraine in the next several days. Russia saying they are moving some troops out. The U.S. says the reality here, they are actually moving troops in. The president, as he left the White House for Ohio today, speaking of this growing Russian threat. Secretary of State Antony Blinken in an unplanned speech at the UN calling this a moment of peril, and you will hear him lay out what the U.S. believes Vladimir Putin is planning. On the ground there, Ukraine tonight accusing Russian-controlled separatists of firing on a Ukrainian village, hitting a kindergarten. This video, they say, shows the children seen being rushed away, reports teachers were hurt. Many, of course, asking, is this the kind of provocation that could then lead to something far greater? Mary Bruce is at the White House tonight. Russia now responding to the U.S. Putin's demands tonight. Martha Raddatz on what a Russian attack might look like. And ABC's Terry Moran right now from Ukraine.
Tonight, a grim warning from President Biden that the risk of Russia invading Ukraine is, quote, very high.
My sense this will happen within the next several days.
Biden said Russia has been moving more forces in, not out of areas surrounding Ukraine, as the Kremlin claims, and that Vladimir Putin is trying to create a pretext for an attack.
We have reason to believe that they are engaged in a false flag operation to have an excuse to go in.
That false flag warning comes after the shelling of a village in eastern Ukraine overnight. These images, say Ukrainian authorities, showed children being led away from a local kindergarten that was hit. No children were injured. Ukraine blamed the artillery assault on separatist forces armed and supported by Russia. The U.S. worries that escalation in the long simmering conflict in eastern Ukraine could also be exploited by Russia as a reason to strike. The dramatic developments forced U.S. Secretary of State Blinken to delay a trip to Europe this morning so he could make a rare address at the United Nations first. He laid out the peril of what he said Putin might do.
Russian missiles and bombs will drop across Ukraine. Communications will be jammed. Cyber attacks will shut down key Ukrainian institutions. After that, Russian tanks and soldiers will advance on key targets that have already been identified and mapped out in detailed plans.
Blinken acknowledged that many may doubt U.S. intelligence after the Iraq war, but he added,
I am here today not to start a war, but to prevent one.
Blinken urged a diplomatic solution and asked Russia for a pledge not to invade, which did not come, though Russia has said in the past it has no plans to attack. This morning, we went to a bomb shelter beneath an apartment building here.
And this is a blast wall?
And while Oksana Hadil, a mom of two who manages many buildings for the city, showed us around, the reality of it all hit her.
Could you imagine that this might actually be used in war, this shelter?
No, she says, adding, I never could have imagined there could be a war. It's scary.
And Terry Moran back with us from Ukraine tonight. And Terry, I know they have been putting on a brave face there for some time now. Their leaders urging unity. But as we saw in that interview you just did, the reality on the ground here, it appears they sense this is now a real possibility that Russia could act here.
They do, David. From the Ukrainian government to ordinary citizens like that woman, there's a shift in tone, a new reality, a new focus. In the couple of weeks since I've arrived, Ukrainians have gone from skepticism that anything might happen to disbelief that it really could, and now you sense a fear that it might. David?
Terry Moran leading us off tonight. Terry, thank you.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.